Richie had shared right at the beginning, before the top of the hour, something cool that he did. So I want to dive into that in a minute. But what I'd like this session to be is pretty much just a brain dump of thoughts and ideas of things that you could implement as last second ways to communicate or share holiday greetings, or things that you can take and use and put on the calendar for this year already for next year, or could even apply to other holidays or occasions throughout the year, right? Because for example, Richie's going to share one that I think obviously he did around Christmas and this holiday season, but I think there's lots of ways you could take the concept and apply it to other holidays, or even just special occasions and events, etc. So I would like this to be more of an open sharing session of either ideas that you have implemented, ideas you've thought about implementing, resources, etc., etc. And then what we'll do is compile all of that into sort of a brain dump kind of document, and we'll share that with any of the guests here today. You just have to get back to whoever invited you, and we'll get that to you as soon as we have that compiled for future reference or current reference. So Richie, I'm assuming by that comment, you're also in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, Northern Virginia.
Right on.
My office is here in Haymarket. I think she's in Manassas somewhere. So we're like 10, 15 minutes from each other.
Yeah. So he had shared right when we hopped on that he had done a Breakfast with Santa event, a live in-person event. And at the event, he gave away gingerbread house kits and turned it into a contest where folks took the kits, they made their gingerbread houses, and then they were to post a picture of their house, and the person that got the most votes or likes on Facebook got $100, I think you said gift card or something along those lines. So maybe if you could unpack that a little bit more. I always like I don't know, I always like the minutia. So starting with let's start with the actual Breakfast with Santa. What did that look like, and how did you invite folks to it?
Perfect. So yeah, I'm on Facebook. So if you ever want to see some of my corny, and Instagram, I don't do a ton of them, but I do starting to get more into video. But for Breakfast with Santa, my brokers actually helped out with this, and we held it at one of our offices. They were cooking food, got a bunch of breakfast burritos. And the way I got the message out was on Facebook. I had a funny video wearing a hat like you, kind of came sliding out, inviting everyone. I also did a bomb email, made a nice bomb, targeted the people that I wanted to invite. They got not only that funny video, but also an invitation. Then we also mailed out a nice printout to their house. So they got 3 different types of invitations to make sure we got a decent turnout. They had to RSVP. We also did an Evite where it sends out and you have to RSVP because we needed a head count.
Right.
So that was great. So that's how that all went down, and people came. We had Santa here on the spot. People had food, and we took pictures. We had a balloon person making balloons for the kids, and people really loved it. And then on their way out, thanked them again for coming. Appreciate you coming by. And then also, here's a nice gingerbread house. We got like $10 ones, nice ones from Target somewhere. And then on that thank you note card thing that was on the instructions on how to do this contest, we also put a QR code to my Facebook. So it's so easy for them to be on their phone, right? QR, there's Richie's page, picture of their done, completed gingerbread house, and it just makes it so easy. So everyone's able to participate. There's because 1 or 2 people were like, hey, where do I post it? I'm like, hey, QR card right there, there's instructions. So it made it very easy for people to participate and actually be involved and do it the right way.
That is awesome. I love that. One thought or recommendation, and I don't know if this is better or not, but Eventbrite to take the reservations potentially, because you may get some also, well, I guess you don't want organic reach per se, because this is more for your clients and so forth. But just for everyone here, Eventbrite is a great free platform that you can do and use to promote workshops, events like this. And they even have some paid structures where you can In fact, this is going to be a Monday marketing mastermind in January, how to use Eventbrite to promote a buyer or a home buyer or home seller workshop and be able to invite cold databases. And so I don't know the date on that one. We're gonna have a preliminary, my sales team, we're gonna have a preliminary list of those events and those topics and which days those are happening, but that's coming soon. So that's one thing. Shay, the thing that I thought about as Richie was sharing for you, Shay does a pumpkin patch event where he gives away pumpkins. That is something it's something to consider. Maybe you can do the same thing with carving the pumpkins, right? They take a pumpkin with instructions. Once you've carved your pumpkin, post the picture of your jack-o'-lantern, scan this QR code, post it to my page. And as I'm thinking of it and mentioning it, we'll include, Shay and I did a Zoom like this, where he shared his process of how he promotes his event, how he conducts the event, and how to do the follow-up to the event, because that it creates 3 potential points of contact for you, right? And every one of those is opportunities to potentially get referrals or even capture business right then and there from your sphere and past clients. Any questions or additional thoughts for this concept for Richie? And I hope Richie doesn't mind that we're putting him on.
Oh,
And Richie, I should know this. What's your last name? Just
Hannah,
Hannah.
like Hanna-Barbera, Richie Hanna. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because
And one
I'm
thing I
sure
wanted to
some
add
folks
too is what we had was we had a photographer there taking pictures. So not only were we taking it on their phone, so they had it, but we had photographers. So we got their email addresses. And then that was a good way for me to follow up with not only thanking you for coming, here's photos of your family too. And that a lot of people were like, oh, that was awesome. Yeah. So
I love that. I've got to do this idea next year, because if you might have to search. My dad is Santa Claus, like legitimately, and has played Santa Claus, and I've never quote unquote used him in my business. I had planned to do pictures with Santa last year or 2 years ago, and COVID, and my dad is high risk and so forth. I never did, but we're at a point where I think I could do that, and so I definitely need to. He's great and certainly fits the part, the beard, the gray hair, the belly, all of it. He's got it all. There was nothing fake other than some extra white put on for him. So I love that idea. Any follow-up thoughts or ideas for, Winifred asked, what was your marketing cost? Like, what did you I guess, how much did you spend on the gingerbread, and how much did you spend on the marketing?
Yep, I got 20 gingerbreads, $10 a pop. So I spent $200 on gingerbread houses. And then the marketing was cheap and free stuff. It was a Facebook page that I did on my phone. We mailed stuff out. So whatever it cost me to print a couple mailers. I have an assistant that helps me do all this too. So of course I got to put her time and money involved in this. But and then the food, luckily, my broker held it. He took care of it. Because he also had a couple other agents do it too. So I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this. And so it was very low minimum.
Yeah.
But I do a couple events like this, and I expect to spend $1,500 on something healthy. And you'd be surprised what people hopefully get a couple referrals out of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go ahead, Winifred, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, with us working on our business planning for next year, this is good to know, because then we can plug in amounts. Because, you say how much you plan to spend on your marketing for the year. So if we take each event and allot so much money, as opposed to paying, for leads or whatever, we can, justify being able to do something like that. Plus, it's a face-to-face event that makes a lot of difference with people. Thanks, Richie. Good point.
And it's a marketing too. You have someone taking pictures, and people are taking pictures, posting on their Facebook page. Thank you for such a great time, Richie. This was awesome, right? So you're just getting all this free marketing. It's all organic, and you don't pay for anything. Yeah.
The other thing you're doing, I think, is you're ensuring that those clients won't, like, you're making an impression on them that they're not going to forget you, and they're not going to go somewhere else, or at least you're going to be afforded the opportunity to help them the next time they have real estate needs. So it's hard to quantify that, but it's almost like, and I've been saying this often, I even said it last week when we were talking about retargeting, it's almost as if it's insurance against losing your existing sphere and past clients, by them either forgetting about you or just indifference, let's say, whereas you're creating an emotional connection with them that they're not easily going to forget about. That's for sure. Ashok, I hope I'm saying that right, I may not be, said, what is your ROR? I don't know if that means ROI. It'd be almost impossible to say that now because this is still so fresh and new. But I guess a legitimate question would, during that sequence of the promotion, the actual event, and the after, did you obtain any referrals or direct business from that as of yet?
No, I have not.
And yet, but
And it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. The last event I did was almost 5 months ago, and I finally got a referral from it just a couple months ago, for that. It was $1 million listing in Vienna. The guy loved me. He was a colonel. Done. 4 days on the market. I'm like, thank God, that paid for itself right there. All these events that won.
paid for all of your events for the next 5 years, probably.
Yeah.
And Josh, Richie, if with like my pumpkin patch, it's hard to find out an ROI on that, but like my pumpkin patch, I get 11 different contacts with my people, both before, during, and after that, just different conversations. And I have seen a whole lot of great real estate, conversations come out for people that are ready, people that will be ready soon, or hell, people will be ready in 2 years. And as long as you drip on them and keep up, there's a return there. But if nothing else, you're loving on your clients and they're going to remember you, just giving on them, loving on them. It will set you apart, and they know that you're loving on them. They'll turn around, remember you, and love on you back.
My folks hold me accountable to this. I am absolutely doing this. It might not, I don't know if we'll do breakfast with Santa or cookies with Santa or whatever. I am absolutely doing this next year. So you all hold me accountable to this.
And almost every lender will do it with you.
Right. Yep. Isabel asked, Richie, where did you hire the Santa, or how did you find the Santa?
Sorry, I just went on mute. It was an agent in our office. He's a big guy, looks like your dad, probably looks just like Santa, and he does this every year. He loves it. Sweet. And he invites some of his clients, and we got the Santa. So it's an agent in our office, believe it or not. So but they're easy to find. I went on a local place and found some local Santas because I was going to do something for my neighborhood. Just didn't have enough time. But there's a good amount of them out there you can find. You just gotta
be careful. Like if you hire one, man, I just feel like I have to disclose, like, make sure they have clearances and references and so forth. Don't just grab some guy off the street, because beers with Santa for the grown-ups. Yeah, Mark, that's a good idea. We'll do afternoon cookies with Santa and evening IPAs with Santa. My dad would love that for sure.
I want to be invited to that one.
Yeah. Debbie, you could take the pictures from Santa from your photographer and put them on ornaments and send them to each family with a nice message from you on the other side. That's a cool follow-up.
That's genius. That's something they're going to see every year, and it's very personal. I dig it.
Yeah, that is a very cool idea. I'm gonna have to add that to my execution plan on that. All right. Anything else for Richie before we pivot to other ideas? Harry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, for Shay, couldn't you do, you could do even if you didn't want to do the Christmas party, you could take your pumpkin things and do ornaments for people, right?
I think that's great, because I've got a lot of group pictures. You know what else would be, well, I don't know if you could do this, but like the calendars that I do, I don't know how much it would cost, but put a personalized picture on their calendar.
Oh boy.
So they see that on their fridge. If
Yeah.
that's not, I mean, stupid expensive, that's just genius because they see that with their family, which means it's going to stay up on their fridge. They're going to look at it. Family's going to look at it. I mean, this is gold, you guys. This is sexy stuff right here.
Yeah. Ray threw in, I don't want to miss comments in the chat. Ray threw in a great summer event to hold as a street ice cream day. I held one last summer and it was an incredible hit. I'm assuming, Ray, and you can clarify, but I'm assuming it was like an ice cream food truck, I would think, like ice cream truck.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And I think that would be a great idea for me. We've got a park in our neighborhood and I could do that and host it in our neighborhood. So I love that idea as well.
Yeah,
I've been saying this forever. I need to do a quarterly event and I actually need to do a quarterly event and actually do it. And that one would be, an easy one.
It was great because I farm an area. So this particular street, I parked the truck on the street. I hired a magician. I hired a balloon twister. So the kids were taken care of. My clients, I also invited my clients out to the event. And from it, I got two potential listings in the pipeline from that event alone.
Nice.
That's great. That's great. Great share. Obviously, it's now December 19th. So let's maybe pivot to some last minute or last second things you could do if you haven't planned or done an event, or you're kind of in scramble mode at this point. What are some thoughts, ideas, etc., for how you might still share some holiday greetings and maybe at minimum remind folks that you're still here, right? And that you're still in the business and you would love to help them in the new year if or when they're ready.
Can I start us off on this one?
Please, please.
Okay, I was talking to my preferred lender just last week about it, and we're doing pop-ups with all of our what she calls A-tier clients, people that have bought or sold a house with us or referred someone this last, over the last year. And we are, hence this, I am going to go as the Grinch delivering.
Yeah,
gifts.
Shay doesn't dress like that every day just for fun. I mean, it's as much as it may seem that way.
But I would.
If it were socially acceptable, he would. Yeah.
Agreed. But I mean, we're doing, like I said, and it's, we kind of took the idea from Client Giant that I just signed up with for the remainder of, my clientele. But just as a last minute thing this week, we're going to be dropping by gifts and the gingerbread house kits. I love the idea of the contest, but we're just dropping those off as well for people with kids for something fun to do. And we've got some coloring books and crayons and things like that.
That's something, that's something that all of us could still theoretically do now, right? Go out and, I mean, you may struggle to find enough of those kits.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, but go try and find those kits and turn it into a contest. Include the directions like Richie mentioned on the kits as you deliver them as pop buys. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Being the 19th, you could easily do it to have it, finish up and choose a winner on, Christmas Eve and stuff like that. I mean, it's something for the kids to do with them off of school and stuff. It might give, parents a little bit of, breathing room and stuff like that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Who else? And it doesn't have to be like anything goes here, right? Anything goes at this point. Like there's no bad ideas here. We're just bantering about and coming up with thoughts and ideas that hopefully will give you something that you can then take and implement this week. Well, so I'll share tomorrow morning. Every Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, I do something called Texting Tuesday. And tomorrow, I'm just going to send a video text message and video email of me just wishing a happy holidays. I won't have a call to action or anything in it. I will say though, that I'm going to include, I'm going to be doing that with BombBomb. KV Core has a BombBomb add-on, and you can include a call to action overlay. So I'm not going to reference it or anything, but I will add a call to action overlay where, you know, I'm connecting with them. And for those that might be interested, there'll be something there where they can kind of take a next step. But the gist of the message will be, you know, sharing season's greetings with them. And for those of you that want to check that out, it's on my Josh Schoenly coaching YouTube channel. So that's one simple thing that I plan on doing. One other idea that popped, Shay, go ahead.
Just something that's in the chat that hasn't been addressed. Wanted to talk about it. Shamready on there had talked about magnetic business cards with recipes, and a couple people had questions about where do you get those magnetic business cards. I just didn't want that lost in the chat.
Yeah, Sham, do you I mean, there's lots of great places for that, but I don't know if you have one that's
USA.
Oh, I do see it here. Go ahead.
Magnets USA.
Magnets USA. Yeah, that's a good one. They also do, if I remember correctly, they also do like football schedule magnets and different things of that nature. I think the key with doing stuff like that, in my opinion, is, you know, when I get them and it's just like, you know, a business card and a calendar, generally speaking, I throw those out, right? It's got to be something that would give me reason to come back to or like have on there. For example, my oldest son plays football at our high school, and this year I got magnets made up of the high school football calendar. So my info was at the bottom, but it had the calendar, or I'm sorry, not the calendar, the schedule of, you know, what days they were playing, if they were home and away, and they could even track the score, right? And the reason why I was like, for me, like I had no problem with us having that on our refrigerator, because even though Caden plays, like we forget, oh, who do we play this week? Or, you know, who's next week, whatever. And so I got loads of great feedback about sending those out. So I think, you know, Sham mentioned recipes, and that's better than making it all about you. But if you can find even a deeper way to, or a more interesting thing, and the motivation for the football schedule thing came from a gal named Wendy in Las Vegas. She was sending out a calendar that had the Vegas Knights, the hockey team, and the Vegas Raiders, the football team, on the same one, and just got tons of great positive feedback, right? So you're getting, you know, giving people a reason to have your marketing on their refrigerator for whatever period of time. And the football one works so well. My son also plays baseball, and the baseball coach is like, dude, you got to do one of these for the baseball schedule too. So I already have that lined up. Brittany.
Hi, so I just wanted to share, last year I went door knocking in a neighborhood with my children. After I closed the house in November, we went door knocking with ornaments, and we met a few people. And a year later, I got a phone call from one of the homeowners that we met, and she remembered my daughter. She said, I remember your daughters when I saw your card in my junk drawer. So I said, oh, okay, great. You know, so here we will do the same, I think on Friday, but then we're also going to do a shopping cart pull, like go to a smaller supermarket, not like a really busy one, and pull carts, you know, for those people who don't want to walk the cart back over. I know I don't like to walk the cart back over with my business card. And I was going to purchase some lottery tickets, you know, and kind of wish them luck and attach it to a ribbon, you know, hole punch the lottery ticket and my card and kind of attach it to a ribbon and just have my kids give them out as we put the cards back in the, you know, into the pushy thing.
I love that. And a point that I want to highlight from that is as much as you're comfortable involving your family in your business can help create another level of connection
Right.
with potential clients. Now, for some of you, that's out of your comfort zone. You don't want to do that. I get that 100%. But I often get, whether it's agents because of classes where I refer to my kids, or you know, out and about, like that is a connection point that I wouldn't necessarily have. It creates another, you know, neuron connection in their brain to you, right? And if you don't have kids, maybe it's your dogs, maybe it's your cats, maybe it's your whatever. Maybe it's I'll refer to Wendy again. She's getting some play here. She is a Jeep girl, right? And like she is really well known as her in her market as being a Jeep gal. Like she goes off-roading in a Wrangler, and that has nothing to do with real estate, but people connect with her around that, right? So leaning into the affinity type of things that you have. You've got a family, you've got this love for dogs, you've got this love for, I don't know, parakeets, whatever. Doesn't matter. Lean into that.
Right.
And give people an opportunity to connect with you around that thing.
Yes. Can I say one more thing, Josh?
Please,
Last
absolutely.
year, I connected with a woman because she has 6 kids and I have 4. We connected. I only was challenging myself to give out my business card to as many people as I can. And I got and closed $1 million listing, my first one. So if you relate with someone, yeah, that's all it takes sometimes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I'm glad that we're not the only people on the call crazy enough to have 4 kids. So. Very good. Susan.
Yes. I did a balloon coloring campaign. My real estate board has this agreement with the Canada Post that we can send out stuff to different areas for about 10 cents, which is a fraction of what it costs the regular mail. So I sent out probably about 1,000 flyers to my geo warehouse area. And I said, get your kids to color these balloons and you can send a clown picture, whatever picture. Mine just happened to be a balloon because it was made because I was with Remax at the time. So now I will do something different. And then I said, okay, get your kids to color this and send it back into me. And the first prize will be a Chuck E. Cheese meal for 4 people. And I got quite a lot of emails back and made the decision and gave one family that prize.
Very cool. And Susan's in Canada. So some different, just the way they do their, you know, postal routes and so forth can be a little bit different. But I love that, you know, that's a different approach on a geo farming, right? And creating connections. So great share. Good stuff. I have one other idea that popped into my head as I was thinking about this morning. And I think I have some notes on some others as well, but getting our kids, like we haven't had a holiday picture in so long. Between how busy they are and how difficult it is to get, in particular, our 2 sons to like cooperate, and even at the age they're at, like they just don't want to be in pictures, and then they'll like, you know, then they're picking on or nagging the girl, whatever. It's just a pain. So I was thinking that I might make a jib jab with everybody's heads. Have you ever seen those jib jabs? If you've seen it, like many of you know what I'm talking about because you're smiling and laughing. They're like these animated things, and they put it to songs, and like they just have the heads of people. You know, you upload pictures, and they're very memorable, right? Like, you know, I can still remember one that my mother-in-law and her sister did and sent out to the family like 5 years ago. I can picture it, you know, in my brain currently, because it was that memorable. So I may end up doing that. I'm going to do what I had shared tomorrow, but I may also do that as part of my Friday email, include a little like jib jab from my whole family. And there's probably other similar services to that. It's just the jib jab one is the one that I don't know, I remember or sticks out in my brain as far as that goes. Pete, go ahead. You're cracking up.
So you just gave me an idea for an email. So maybe if I could find on the Jib Jab, the Village People in the Navy, since my son is in the Navy.
Ah, yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm sure, I would think they probably have one of that for sure. Is it Enya? Did I say that right? Oh, I think you're muted and your video may be hurting your connection for some reason. Sometimes it bogs it down.
I'll try unmuting.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Mine is going back and forth, but I was going to say I'm a success coach here, and I run a small coaching group of agents. And what I challenged them to do was, if you're service oriented, you can, here in New Jersey, we have a no plastic ban. So there's a ban on plastic bags for shopping, any kind of shopping. So to go out and maybe get your imprint on those cloth shopping bags and drop them off in either in your farm or your past clients, and ask them to fill some of them with non-perishable items, and you'll come back and pick them up. That was very successful for many agents, and they left a few bags and then came back and picked them up, and doing some good in the community together. So that's
really cool. Okay, so to summarize, New Jersey has banned plastic bags, and so the idea being getting the reusable or recyclable cloth bags, brand it to you a little bit, and drop them off, whether it's farming a neighborhood or with your past clients, and even turn that into a food drive opportunity potentially, which you could do at any point, right?
Yes.
I mean, obviously this time of year, that is something that is, much more, I don't know,
top of
emphasized
mind.
or whatever. Yeah. But I love that idea. I think that's a great way to make impressions, to serve the community, and to, and that's also piggybacking off of something that's happening in the market, right? Oh, we're not allowed to use plastic bags anymore. We need these things anyway. And so I love that. I love that. One of these times I'm going to remember. So Wegmans, we don't have that ban yet, but Wegmans has stopped carrying plastic bags. And every time I go there, I forget, and I end up paying for paper bags. And I'm thinking, what can I do with these paper bags? And then that made me think, oh, we used to make those into book covers. And then I was like, well, our kids don't even have book covers anymore. They don't even give them textbooks anymore. So that's not going to do anything. Anyway.
You're dating all of us, man.
Yeah, I seriously. Oh man, that was awesome though. When you had like the good quality brown paper
You
bag.
could draw anything on it and make it all artistic and all.
Oh, 100%. Stickers and so forth. Anyway, Harry.
So an agent in my area does this. It's sort of a twist on what the woman just said. She gets just paper grocery bags. I'm sure she buys, like a bundle of them from Uline or whatever. And she staples a note on like nice, colorful, I think it was green this year, just a sheet with the idea of that people can fill up the bag, leave it out front of their house, and you'll come by and pick it up. So it's a pretty low cost way. You don't have to, buy granted, the permanent branding isn't there, but it's a quick,
it's the impression you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just with the folks that you're dropping and picking, right? Like there are, you will make impressions beyond just.
Yeah, and then I'm sure she pays somebody, whoever, to go around, and she leaves them on the front doors at people's houses, just kind of leaned up against the storm door. And so when people come home, they see it, and then she, comes by, sends somebody around like the next, I don't know, a few days later to pick them up. And I had another thought, was for a coat drive, same idea, maybe even after Christmas, because a lot of kids might have new coats.
After Christmas is a good idea. My buddy used to do a coat drive. The collection day was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and that has turned into something that he calls Operation Save Christmas. It turned into something really amazing. But that's a great point, doing it after,
because the real cold weather isn't now,
right?
It's next month.
And then
Guys,
I
why
know,
don't we-
like,
why don't we
in
do
my
this
house,
together?
we've got probably 8 of them that never get worn, at least 8, maybe
Right.
12 or 15, you know? So
Mhm.
Shay, go ahead. And then Carolyn.
Let's do this together. I mean, and just put it out on social media, what we're able to raise in different states throughout the entire nation.
The coat drive idea?
Coat drive. Let's do
I'm
this
down with
all
that.
as a team and do it as a, a combined effort and
That's a
just
good idea.
show how much we can do for people all over the country. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Let's that'll be something we can continue a conversation on Wednesdays, maybe. I love that idea. I think that's great. And I think between all of us, we could make a significant impact. Because I mean, your point is extremely valid, Harry. I mean, the highs, projected highs for this weekend here in Central PA are in the 20s. And we've got a closet full of warm coats that are not being used and probably won't be used this entire season. Might as well allow them to help those less fortunate. I love that idea. Good idea. I'm excited for that. Pete, yes, that would be great. Carolyn, you have your hand up.
Hey, Josh.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great. And yourself?
Good, thank you. So what I did this year is I always order magnetic calendars for my clients, but I went a little bit extra this year. I attached a Starbucks gift card to every envelope, and I put a CMA for them in there, and I just shot it off. And I'm getting responses from my clients. Thank you so much. It was very thoughtful of you to do that. So I think everybody loves the Starbucks card. I don't, but I know people do.
I do.
Yeah, I'm
my
not a
wife
Starbucks.
doesn't drink coffee. She doesn't really care for Starbucks, and she always gets Starbucks cards. And I'm like, scores.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was good. And I got a pretty nice response so far from a lot of people.
Thanks.io, growwithjosh.com/thanks. You can check it out, get a free account there. You can actually send, you can't do exactly what Carolyn described, where you're sending a magnet and a CMA, but you could send a postcard or a note card and include a gift card in there. And I never executed on that, but I had planned to send a happy Thanksgiving card with a gift card, because Christmas is, that's the typical one where people send cards. A way of standing out is you send a physical card Thanksgiving. And I was going to include a Starbucks card, for a pumpkin spice latte for those of that. And sadly, that ended up on the pile of to-dos that never got to done. But I think there's something to that idea, whether or not you use thanks.io to do that. It's Alexis, I'll put it in the chat here. It's growwithjosh.com/thanks. And the cool thing, you can create a free account there. If you upgrade to their business account, which is $49 per month, which if you're sending any amount of mail through them, is easily worth it. The thing that's nice about that is if you have the business account and you send out gift cards, you only pay if they are redeemed. So, I don't know what the, redemption rate is on them, but at least you're not paying if they don't actually use it. And there's a whole bunch of ways that we use thanks.io in our business. And if you create a free account there, just email mike@growwithjosh.com, and we've got a bunch of bonus templates and tutorials, etc., that you can check out and use as well. Shay had another idea as it relates to the calendar. He does one that has thankful themed messages, right? I think that the point is, just don't make the calendar about you, right? Try and find a way to include something about them that's of value and would give them a reason to keep it around, otherwise it's defeating the purpose, right? If it's just your branding, if they really, really love you, they might hang on to it. But if not, lost that impression opportunity. Look at that, Gigi. You can buy Starbucks cards in bulk and add your logo on the card. That's cool. I did not know that. Very cool. We'll have to include that link in the summary of resources, etc. Any other final? So one thing I guess in just wrapping here is I would want to ensure that in a perfect world, the holiday greetings that you put together for your sphere of influence, your database, etc., you want to get that out in as many media platforms as possible. So on your social media, through email, through text. One thing we didn't even discuss, which I think Daphne had executed on recently, is you could even send it as a ringless voicemail. You could use trustedmessaging.com or something cowboy, ringless cowboy. I forget. There's several,
also one in the marketplace for KV Core too.
Right. There's lots of ways that you could send out ringless voicemail messaging. And when even though it's not a personalized message, you're not saying, hey, Harry, I'm just calling to wish you happy holidays and season greeting, blah, 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 whatever. It's still your voice, right? And it's another way of connecting. And, it also creates the opportunity for them to call you back, right? You're reminding them, and a certain percentage of people that you send it to, as small as it may be, there's going to be a certain percentage that are thinking about doing something real estate related. So as many different ways as possible: direct mail, in person, social media, email, text, ringless voicemail, DMs or private messages, right? DMs on Instagram, private messages on Facebook. Find whatever way, whatever way or ways you can to spread goodwill,
Hey,
spread
Josh.
goodwill. Sorry, who said that? Was that Shay?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just got a text from the picture that I put on Facebook and Instagram with this. They want to sell a house and buy a house. They want to sell their house and look at another one. It's just consistency. Just put it out there. Be different.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. This is going to be awesome.
Drop Cowboy is the ringless voicemail. That makes more sense. Drop Cowboy. And the thing I'd like to highlight for Shay, Shay, part of the reason Shay works like crazy. Okay. He is certainly unafraid to work. And also he's unapologetically authentic, right? He is not trying to be something. He's not trying to be offensive to anyone, but he's being himself. And I want to share that as an encouragement, because I think being in this business as long as I have been, there is a lot of, it can be difficult to fully embrace that, right? That it can be a struggle to try and be something that you're not, or whether it's imposter syndrome, or it's that you see this this other person who's successful in the business, and you think you have to look and be like that to be successful. Just be you. There is some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, and some people are just going to be indifferent. But I refer to this person often because he's had a tremendous impact on my life, Tim Ferriss. And I remember very distinctly a podcast he did with a guy named Kevin Kelly around the idea of having 1,000 true fans. 1,000 true fans. Now, for some of you, that may seem like a lot. Focus on having 50 or 100 true fans. People that you connect with, you resonate with, that you would, you would be excited to get a cup of coffee with, that you're excited when you see them at your son or daughter's sporting event or other event, right? Extracurricular activity. every one of you have 50, 100, 500, 1,000 people in your market where you can connect with, and they will, they will resonate with your personality and your level of authenticness, and focus on those folks and not the haters, right? Not the people that just bring negativity, whether it's to you or just to life in general. There's plenty of opportunity out there. There's plenty of business to be had, and there's no reason to be anything other than your true authentic self.
Josh,
Yes.
Dick and Daphne have their hands raised.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. I do that too often when they're not on camera. I forget. So let's go to Dick, Carr, and then Daphne.
Well, thank you. Hey, and thanks you for that last minute or two of encouragement there. That was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was changing topics a little bit. That's why I was kind of leaving it toward the end here, but I think last week or something, you'd mentioned somewhere, or somebody did, Smart Alto. And I was just wondering if anybody has done that or anything. I kind of looked into it, or have been looking into it. I was going to talk to them later in the week, read through all their stuff, and they do give a lot of whys and what fors of what they're doing, which is a good thing whenever you give the why and because. So anyway, just wondered if we had experience with that.
Dick, I'd be happy to talk to you more offline about that.
Okay, sorry about that.
I don't know how many have used it. I've been using them for almost a year and a half, or maybe at a year and a half. I view it as a cost of doing business. In other words, like, to me, it is a non-negotiable, but it only makes sense if you're consistently adding to your database daily, weekly, monthly.
Yeah.
In other words, it is a piece of a recipe to taking cold, not met people and making them clients.
Reversion, yeah.
But it's not the only piece, right? You've got to have some other things in place, and particularly a consistent flow of new leads, prospects, etc. And they can be coming from any number of different channels or avenues. But that is the big thing there with them. And I would get Susan, there is a CRM component with Smart Alto, but the best way I can describe them is as a text-based ISA platform. So their goal and what they offer is they're texting your potential clients with the objective of getting them on your calendar for a phone call. You get notified when they've been able to schedule a call with a client, and they add them right on your calendar. For example, if you're using Calendly, which is what I use, it shows up right on your calendar. The other way they notify you, or that you can keep track of, is if they've had a conversation, but it just hasn't gotten to the point of a calendar appointment, they add folks to what they call the My Call list, which are people that are somewhat warm and engaged, but they just weren't able to get them on a calendar. And that's a good list to then follow up with, whether it's you or having a phone-based ISA to call and try and get them over the goal line. For me, in November, they scheduled 20 phone appointments, and I got 22 that were on the My Call list. Part of that was, a big part of that, I would say, was I had some listings that had gone live in November. So a number of those were leads that were generated, that I generated around my listings, that were either wanting an appointment, a showing appointment for that listing, or something around that, right? So again, I guess my point is, you've got to have lead flow, right? That's going to be critical. Otherwise, it's not going to make sense, because it's not cheap. Although it's a lot cheaper than, for most people, it's a lot cheaper than hiring an ISA as like, bring it, whether they're a VA or hiring, actually hiring someone. It's a way that you can outsource that component potentially more affordably. Again, potentially. So,
Okay.
Daphne.
Okay, we're going back to
Yes, sorry. Yes, good.
back to the holidays. Anyway,
Yes.
a few years ago, I did have done a couple of different things. A few years ago, I did this was after Christmas. So it was before New Year's, and it was more of a New Year's message.
I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to talk about that and then I totally forgot. Great stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, but it was just me, and I, was wearing sparkly stuff. I mean, pretty, and I had a glass of champagne, and I kind of just, made a toast and, wishing them Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. And I sent that out. That was good. And I've also done, if you do not like being on video, I've actually outsourced this on Fiverr before, and it's a puppet that will, it's Harold the puppet. He's really funny, and then he will do a message. So you just write the script, he does it and sends you a video, and it's really cool. I've had him read the night before Christmas with, like a funny, tying me in, of course. And another time was like, hey, it's just the Bousquet family wants to wish you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and, naming my kids and all that stuff. And you just write the script, and he does a video, and it was like, I don't know, less than $10.
I like the New Year's idea because for the same reason that I mentioned the Happy Thanksgiving card, right? It will stand out because not as many people are going to send Happy New Year wishes. I mean, people post on Facebook and stuff, but not as much of the personal as happens around Christmas and that. So I think that's I like that. Kamika agrees.
Josh.
I like the Happy New Year bomb. That's good. I'm glad that we get to see the full Grinch ensemble now.
One thing about New Year's that I've had a really amazingly positive response to is I put all of the numbers. Well, it's not as prominent anymore with Uber and that, but I used to put all the numbers that you could call for free taxi rides to avoid drunk driving and like a, don't drunk drive message. And I've had remarkably good responses.
That's a
from
great
that.
call.
Shared a lot and had a lot of people do that. That's one thing that I've had that people really took the time to thank me for and had a couple good conversations.
That's great. That's a good call. I could see that turning it, like making a cool like social graphic around that or something like that. I like that idea. New Year's. Go ahead, Harry.
There we go. I have a caricature Christmas card that I send out. I realized when you were talking about your kids not cooperating.
Yep.
That I could show if you want. I can.
Hold on.
It's kind of fun.
I
get a lot of. I've been doing this. I think this is my 4th or 5th year, and people seem to like it. I get a lot of comments on it.
Cool.
So let's see if I can.
Oh, look at that. That is cool.
So then I just send pictures. I, just take quick cell phone pictures of my kids, send it to the artist, and sort of, we talk.
Just a local artist? Is it?
No, so a friend of mine runs a business up outside of Boston, and he does events mostly for colleges. And one of the things that they do is, they do these caricatures. I'm sure you could find a caricature artist.
Sure.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I keep telling him he ought to do it. Like, I said, I'd be happy to, I told him maybe I should buy 5 of them for clients. and say, would you like your own?
Yeah.
Just send, send the first 5 people, get their, get a custom Christmas card, a custom caricature Christmas card.
Yep.
And he keeps saying, it's just too much trouble. But anyway, I'm
That
sure
could be the reward from the gingerbread house contest. I mean, any
there you
kind of
go.
thing.
Right.
Or the pumpkin patch, the jack-o'-lantern, so they get them in time to be able to send as the Christmas cards.
Right.
I like it.
Good stuff. Great share, Harry. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're up over an hour here, and not that that's not like our hard stop, but I do like to try and respect everyone's time. Daphne said Fiverr has everything for sure. I'm sure you could find a caricaturist on Fiverr as well.
I'm sure.
No doubt about it. We will compile all of this, the resources, the links mentioned, etc., even the things that were kind of off topic for this. We'll compile them, and we have a free members area where we're putting the replays of these Monday Marketing Mastermind sessions, as well as the recommended resources. If you are a guest here today, you can get back to whoever invited you, and they are happy to get you that free access and offer any other help that you may need or questions that you may have, get those answered for you. On Wednesday for our huddle, I've got I want to do an update for the cash offer process, which is it's only been to 100, but I've got enough statistically relevant information and data that I feel like this is the winning formula and process, and one that scales, one that you could outsource to a VA. It's real nice, I think. Anyway, I also want to continue and explore the idea of the coat drive. I think that's fantastic. And of course, we'll open it up for Q&A. We've got Texting Tuesday tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We've got our big group coaching in the private team suite in the EXP world at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow. Huddle Wednesday, Huddle Thursday, Pat Hayes' Freedom Friday, Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and Larry White's Wealth Building Mastermind at 11 a.m. Eastern. No mastermind or huddles next week. So the week of 12/26, we're going to relax and recharge. And then we'll be back for Monday Marketing Mastermind, Monday, January 2nd. Yeah, that's the first Monday of the new year. And we'll get that topic. We're going to finalize what that topic will be and have a tentative plan for the first quarter of 2023. We're going to finalize that on Thursday on our huddle. Isabel, hit me up. We can, well, I'll say it here. Our huddles they're not, yes, they are open and guests are welcome. And it's the same link. We don't change the link. So our huddles we have our Monday Marketing Mastermind on Mondays, and Wednesday and Thursday are huddles as well. It's always the same time, Jeffrey, 11 a.m. Eastern. Our huddles are always at 11 a.m. Eastern. Once again, thank you. Thank you all for sharing. I think Richie had to leave, but that was awesome. That share for those that shared their experiences and so forth. These are always more and most valuable when we get a lot of interaction and ideas being shared, etc. Get back to whoever invited you if you want replays, recordings, and other recommended resources. And I know it's the week before the holidays, but if you're not tied up, I think it's a good time to still be filling your pipeline with opportunity and implementing some of these holiday greeting ideas as well. So let's make it a great week. And if I don't see or hear from you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stay safe, and look forward to seeing many of you again January 2nd.
Love you guys.
Good luck, buddy.